new technology that's making waves in the world of AI, ChatGPT.
ChatGPT. It can do pretty much anything you tell it to do.
In the race to create artificial intelligence, ChatGPT has lapped the competition, and the winner wields extraordinary power. What many people are not aware of is the company behind ChatGPT, OpenAI. A company that used to ignore profits, a company that used to avoid corporate control, a company that used to freely release its code to the world. Used to. But all that's changed under the reign of its CEO, Sam Altman. Sam Altman has become a lightning rod for controversy, leading the world to ask, is he a visionary?
Maybe we could capture the light cone of all future value in the universe.
Or a villain?
And that is for sure not okay for one group of investors to have.
Sam Altman was the child of a revolution that began in the late 1970s. The computer revolution. One company leads the charge, Apple. In just a few short years, Apple achieves blockbuster success. In 1984, Apple releases the Mac, a computer that is marketed to everyday consumers and easy to use. Sam Altman is born the next year, and his story begins with a Mac.
My parents got me a computer, a Mac LC2, when I was 8 years old for a birthday present, and I just so fell in love.
He quickly learns to take it apart and even write software. Like with so many billionaires that we have portrayed on this channel, this sets the young Sam Altman's ambition ablaze. He dreams of working at the cutting edge of technology, of building things like his new computer. And the Mac also gives him a destination, Stanford University.
Someone that set it up for me told me that Stanford was where you go if you want to learn about computers. And I sort of decided right then, I want to go to Stanford to study computers.
For decades, Stanford has been central to the Silicon Valley ecosystem. The founders of Google, Yahoo, and PayPal have all passed through this rite of passage. Altman couldn't be happier when he finds out he's been accepted. This is his ticket to the land of movers and shakers, a world he will soon dominate. By 2005, Altman is on the usual path for Silicon Valley power players. Step 1, get into Stanford. Step 2, drop out of Stanford. Working as a research assistant in the university's computer science department, Altman gets an idea. Location data will be worth a fortune. Advertisers target customers based on variables like age, income, and browsing history. But what if they could know where you are at any given moment? Altman and two of his classmates start working on a project called Looped, a mobile app people can use to find their friends in the physical world. It's basically the 2005 equivalent of sending your location in iMessage. Altman needs some cash for his budding business, so he seeks out the godfather of startups, Paul Graham. Graham made his millions writing the first software for building online stores. His company was acquired by Yahoo, leaving Graham a rich man with plenty of free time. He then turns his attention to guiding the next generation of founders, churning out dozens of essays about how to start a technology business. His writings become gospel for Silicon Valley entrepreneurs, and his next move is investing in new companies. By 2005, Graham plans to fund several new businesses over the summer and invites Altman to make his pitch. But there's a problem. The interview is set in Boston, but Altman is scheduled to pitch another group of investors in San Francisco the day before. He asks Graham if he can reschedule their meeting. "You're a freshman," Graham replies. "Apply again next year." Altman writes back, "I'm a sophomore, and I'm coming." When Graham meets Altman, he's stunned by the young man's intellect and ferocious drive. So this is what Bill Gates was like at 19, Graham thinks to himself. Then he reaches for his checkbook, taking a gamble on Altman and his company. 4 years later, Looped reaches 1 million users. Altman snags partnerships with big names like AT&T, Sprint, and Verizon. But in the end, the market just isn't there. Users just aren't that interested in connecting in the physical world. Looped is acquired for $43 million, and Altman personally pockets $5 million. But Altman has gained something more valuable than mere money. He now counts Graham as a friend and mentor. Together, they will rock the tech industry. And instead of a very early retirement, Altman continues building. Why? Because Sam Altman didn't come to Silicon Valley to make a small fortune. He came to make history. After Looped is acquired, Sam Altman takes a year off. But for Altman, time off means something different. He raises a $21 million venture fund, studies nuclear engineering, synthetic biology, and, of course, artificial intelligence. Most importantly, he begins plotting his next move. Before long, he receives an irresistible job offer. In the years since they met, Graham founded Y Combinator, or YC, a company that invests in young tech startups. Big names like Reddit, Airbnb, and Twitch all started at YC's Accelerator program, where they received funding and guidance. Just a few years later, they were all billion-dollar brands. In return, YC made a fortune of its stake in these companies. Altman joins Y Combinator as a partner in 2011 and proves a natural at investing. Over time, Altman and Graham develop a deep mutual respect. Graham ranks Sam Altman as one of the founders he most admires and even compares him to Steve Jobs. Now, Paul Graham wants to stop running YC and offers Sam the top job. Altman beams with joy.
He is going to be the boss. I'm not running the show anymore. It's Sam's show now.
The role is perfect in every way but one. Y Combinator is too small. The company has come a long way since the summer program in 2005, but Altman envisions even greater possibilities. He dreams of funding thousands of companies per year instead of dozens. He imagines a company that can shape the course of history itself. The 29-year-old megalomaniac sets out to make this vision a reality. As president, Altman focuses on rapidly scaling the accelerator. He believes that YC's true value is in its network.
I think we really do get better the bigger we get, because the network has just become extremely powerful now.
Over the years, YC has become a powerful hub for new tech companies, connecting entrepreneurs, engineering talent, customers, and investors. By his early 30s, Altman sees himself not as the head of a company, but as the steward of America's future. And this is still nowhere close to the limits of his ambition. Running the world's largest startup accelerator is a nice resume item. But what comes next? A quest for the holy grail of technology, artificial intelligence. For years, computers have surpassed humans in areas like chess and number crunching. But Altman dreams of something bigger.
I mean, I think the best case is like so unbelievably good that it's like hard to... I think it's like hard for me to even imagine.
Software that can do literally anything and leave humans in the dust. But there's a harder problem. Even if you could build such a technology, how do you control it? For decades, science fiction has explored the risks of building machines that are smarter than man. Altman believes these risks will soon no longer be fiction.
It's both exhilarating as well as terrifying
That's
to
for
people.
sure. I think people should be happy that we're a little bit scared of this. I think people should be
You're
happy.
a little bit scared.
The only way to make AI safe is to build it himself, and he founds OpenAI with this goal in mind. Elon Musk, Microsoft, and Amazon become early backers. Next, he recruits top talent and sets them loose. OpenAI is founded as a non-profit. The team fears a traditional company will put profits before safety. But building superintelligence costs money, a lot of it. Training neural networks burns millions of dollars, and it will cost millions more to lure the best engineers away from Google. In 2019, Altman restructures OpenAI in the most complicated way imaginable. OpenAI will now accept funding from investors, but their returns will be capped at 100 times their investment. Although no one, not even Altman, is sure how the company will make a return.
We have made a soft promise to investors that once we've built this sort of generally intelligent system, basically we will ask it to figure out a way to generate an investment return for you.
He believes so strongly in the company's mission that he leaves YC to join OpenAI full-time as CEO. Any surplus returns will go to OpenAI non-profit, which will govern the for-profit company. OpenAI's strategy also changes. For the first years of its existence, the organization releases open source models for researchers to evaluate. But over time, OpenAI releases less of its code and focuses more on bringing its technology to market. In 2020, OpenAI shocks the world. It releases a GPT-3, a language model capable of generating human-like text. For users, interacting with the model is like first contact with an alien. Its potential is obvious. Essays generated with the press of a button. Totally automated customer service. Some observers fear mass unemployment may be on the horizon. And with the new model comes a new business model. As a non-profit, OpenAI had relied on donations from its backers. It now allows companies to use its models for a price. As with Y Combinator, Altman hopes an entire ecosystem will spring up around the company. Finally, in 2022, Altman's ultimate triumph, ChatGPT. Where GPT-3 could finish your sentences, ChatGPT understands what you're asking it to do. The newer model can carry on a conversation and complete sophisticated tasks. In the Avengers, you had to be Tony Stark to have a Jarvis. Now, you can get one for $20 a month. Altman's big bet has paid off. OpenAI is no longer just a research lab. It's now a behemoth, a central player in Silicon Valley's future. The company secures $10 billion in cash from Microsoft. It partners with corporate giants like Coca-Cola and McKinsey. A gold rush is underway and Altman is selling pickaxes. But the company's move away from its non-profit roots enrages an early backer. Elon Musk lashes out at OpenAI, saying the company has betrayed its own name.
I am the reason OpenAI exists.
He calls the firm a closed source, maximum profit company effectively controlled by Microsoft. He claims OpenAI's models are trained to lie in the name of political correctness.
What's happening is they're training the AI to lie.
Yes.
It's bad.
To lie.
To
That's
lie.
exactly right. And to
Yes.
withhold information.
Altman fires back, calling Musk a jerk.
I definitely grew up with Elon as a hero of mine. Despite him being a jerk on Twitter or whatever.
Musk cuts off the company's access to Twitter's data and even threatens to start a competitor. Other critics say the opposite. OpenAI is too open. For years, big tech has quietly developed ever more sophisticated models. Google, Meta, and other firms rely on AI to refine their algorithms. But these companies only used these tools internally. OpenAI was first to give the public access to such powerful models. Prometheus gave the world fire, and Sam Altman released ChatGPT. Some critics predict tools like ChatGPT will be used by online scammers and in disinformation campaigns. Others fear they will cause mass unemployment, as tasks once done by humans can be done by AI. And as AI tools become more prominent, could that spark an arms race between corporate competitors and even nations? After the release of ChatGPT, Google issues a red alert within the company. It has been leapfrogged by an upstart, putting its very existence in jeopardy. Google answers OpenAI with its own language model, Bard. Meta releases a language model to researchers and it is promptly leaked to the public. Meanwhile, Chinese tech conglomerate Baidu announces plans to train similar systems. But Altman is much more intelligent in how he builds OpenAI. He builds a secret bond with the government. Before we explain how, it must be clear that Altman feels that the correct approach is somewhere between open sourcing AI and keeping it behind closed doors. He argues that AI safety can be purely theoretical. To understand the risks of intelligent systems, researchers must deploy them in the real world and watch what happens.
So I think it doesn't work to do all this in a lab. You've got to get these products out into the world and make contact with reality, make our mistakes while the stakes are low.
That way, society can gradually adjust to the presence of AI. Altman believes that humanity must test the waters before it plunges into an ocean of superintelligence. But are these his real intentions? In May 2023, Sam Altman is called to testify before the United States Senate.
Sam Altman is the co-founder and CEO of OpenAI.
After years of media scrutiny, lawmakers begin looking at OpenAI and its technology. Monumental questions hang in the air. Does the US need a new agency to regulate AI? Will AI eliminate jobs and decimate workers? Should this technology even be allowed to exist? Months earlier, Italy briefly banned ChatGPT. Educators claim ChatGPT enables cheating, and OpenAI has been bombarded with lawsuits. An open letter signed by thousands in the tech industry, including Elon Musk, calls for a 6-month pause on training state-of-the-art models. The company once known for speculative research and bold claims is now in the crosshairs of the US government. The teenager who once talked his way into a check from Paul Graham must now talk his way out of regulatory apocalypse. Altman not only survives the barrage of questions, but seemingly charms the senators.
You make a lot of money, do you?
No. I paid enough for health insurance. I have no equity in OpenAI.
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting. You need a lawyer.
I need a what?
You need a lawyer or an agent.
I'm doing this because I love it.
He manages to come off as both pro-regulation and supportive of the open source community. He signals that he's sensitive to the dangers of AI and lays out steps to avoid them. But he also presents an optimistic vision of its benefits, citing climate change and cancer as challenges AI will help humanity overcome. The senators are impressed. Altman has won. Wherever artificial intelligence goes, OpenAI's place in the field is unassailable. A political billionaire power move we shall all take note of.
You know, Sam just went straight for the end game here, which is regulatory capture. And by basically buying into their narrative and agreeing to everything they want, Sam is pretty much guaranteeing that he'll be one of the people who gets to help shape the new agency and the rules they're going to operate under. So he is basically putting a big moat around his own incumbency here.
Since the release of ChatGPT, OpenAI has added a new model to its offerings, GPT-4. And for some, this is the beginning of the end. GPT-4 has surpassed previous models on virtually every test, including ones designed for humans. The model beats the overwhelming majority of students on the SAT. Its results on most advanced placement exams are high enough to qualify for college credit. It even scores in the 19th percentile on the bar exam. While GPT-3 could only handle text, GPT-4 understands images too. Past OpenAI models were released along with detailed technical documents. OpenAI is more secretive about how GPT-4 was trained. The model's sometimes superhuman performance remains a mystery. The public first interacts with GPT-4 when Microsoft adds the model to its Bing search engine. Altman reveals in April that OpenAI is not currently training GPT-5, but doesn't commit to a pause. Instead, the company plans to improve GPT-4. But even Altman acknowledges that at some point OpenAI may need to slow down. Mark Zuckerberg, Elon Musk and Bill Gates are household names. Altman isn't as famous as these tech silverbacks. Instead, he is an industry insider who spent years cultivating valuable connections, accumulating capital and setting himself up for one enormous bet. Even if progress in AI stalls out today, OpenAI's tools have opened up endless possibilities for new products, markets, even entire industries. If AI continues to advance at the current rate, Altman is poised to become one of the most important figures in history. We'll just have to wait and see if it's for the right reasons.